You don't usually see a team missing 70% of its payroll walk into a game and still win, especially not against a team sitting 5th in the West. Portland's known for its lockdown defense, one of the toughest full-court systems in the league. They've got guys like Toumani Camara, an all-defensive second-team member last year, plus solid defenders like DeAndre Ayton and Jrue Holiday. Even with 17 turnovers, the Lakers still managed to pull it off. And no, it wasn't just one player going off for 40 or 50 points. This win came from a group effort with 4 different players stepping up big. For players hit double figures, Rui Hachimura dropped 28, DeAndre Ayton led with 29, Jake LaRavia added 11, and surprisingly, rookie Nick Smith Jr. came off the bench to score 25. It wasn't pretty, far from it. The Lakers looked lost at times, couldn't even get the ball up the court, and coughed it up 17 times, with 12 turnovers just in the first half. But somehow, they still pulled it off. Credit where it's due. The whole team showed heart and serious resilience tonight. The Lakers never backed down, even without Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James. That's over 70% of their payroll sitting out. But here's the wild part. They actually beat Portland at their own game. Portland brought that trademark full-court pressure, forcing turnovers left and right. Yet the Lakers matched that same energy. In fact, Portland ended up with 18 turnovers, even more than LA, and 12 of those came straight from their starters in the second half. The Lakers really showed out defensively, too. Marcus Smart and Jake LaRavia each grabbed 3 steals. Nick Smith Jr. added 2 off the bench, and even Jared Vanderbilt and Bronny James chipped in with 1 each. They were aggressive, scrappy, and flat-out outworked Portland, especially in the second half when it mattered most. That kind of defensive energy shows just how deep and resilient this Lakers team is. Even without most of their stars, they found a way to fight and finish strong. And no, they weren't facing a top-tier contender, but they played like one. Sure, they weren't up against a powerhouse like OKC, but let's not downplay it. Portland came into the night sitting 5th in the West and had just beaten the Lakers last week, even when Austin Reeves was healthy. This time, though, LA flipped the script. Rui Hachimura dropped 28, while DeAndre Ayton had his best defensive game as a Laker. 29 points with confident low-post work that we haven't seen from him in a while. And off the bench, Nick Smith Jr. stole the show. He barely touched the floor in the first quarter, yet exploded for 25 points. That's the kind of unexpected spark that changes games. When the Lakers struggled to even get the ball up the court, they turned to Nick Smith Jr., easily their best available ball handler, and he completely changed the game. He didn't just control the tempo and organize the offense. He attacked the rim, created his own shots, and looked confident everywhere on the floor. Smith hit 5 of the team's 9 threes, made 10 total field goals, and finished with 25 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals. For a guy who barely played early on, that's a massive statement performance. Amazing performance from Nick Smith Jr., proving exactly why the Lakers gave him that 2-way contract. Even though, honestly, a lot of us doubted he could make much of an impact. But this is why you stay ready. You never know when guys like Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and even Gabe Vincent are all out at once. Nick stepped up big, and the whole team showed their depth on both ends of the floor. It wasn't perfect, but it was gritty. A hard-fought, well-earned win. Overall, a great all-around game for the Lakers, and they deserve every bit of credit for pulling it off.
Kind of an effort like that, down so many guys, where does it start for you? What stands out the most?
I would just say our mentality. You can't win in the NBA without stepping on the floor and expecting to win. And I thought our guys had that from the start. And then that just confidence, belief, and truly connectivity in that second half was just awesome to watch. It was like, it was just blossoming. And I thought DA and Rui offensively for us were great all night. But, Nick Smith in the second half just he just took the game over. And we needed his handle and we needed his wiggle tonight, and truthfully, it was a perfect game for him. You play against that team, they're so disruptive. Drew kind of makes up his own rules. They play their small lineup where they switch everything, and so you play a game like that, it turns into, can I beat my man off the dribble, and I thought once our guys stopped trying to just run pick and roll early in the game and just said, no, I'm just going to beat my guy, create the advantage, and then we're going to play from there. And we did that a number of times in the second half.
With Nick Smith, he's on a two-way, and kind of to come through in moments like that, is there any extra that you're kind of also enjoying and watching and rooting for him, or not you're locked into the game, but just the way his teammates are embracing him and kind of
that's what I mean by the connectivity. We got a good group. I'm excited about this group and what we could potentially be. I'm excited about the group, and his teammates loved it. The bench was awesome tonight. Our huddles were awesome. Just again, expecting to believe, or expecting that we're going to win. I thought our guys had that all night.
There was, after opening night, there was a lot of discussion about we've got to figure out how we're going to play hard the way that we did last year. That was a part of our DNA. It's going to take time. Here you are 7 games later, and it feels pretty much in your team's bloodstream already. How did it happen so quickly?
I would say I've told the team this a number of times throughout the preseason and early in this season, that the best teams are always going to be player-led. And so those guys holding each other to that, that's why I say those huddles, the communication on the court, all those small interactions,